Welcome to Back to Auto Plus, where power meets history and steel tells a story. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic tank destroyers of World War II, the M10 Wolverine. Rugged, reliable, and deadly, this machine was the backbone of American tank destroyer forces during the war. So buckle in, because we're taking a ride back in time to explore the story behind this legendary war machine. The M10 Wolverine wasn't just another armored vehicle, it was a response to a very real threat. During the early years of World War II, German panzers were dominating the battlefield, pushing through lines with terrifying force. The U.S. Army realized they needed a mobile, hard-hitting platform that could knock out enemy tanks from a distance safe and fast. The answer? The M10 tank destroyer. Developed in 1942, the M10 was built on the reliable chassis of the M4 Sherman tank, but with a key difference: instead of a traditional turret, it carried a powerful 3-inch, 76.2mm, gun designed specifically to engage armored targets. Its turret was open-topped, allowing better visibility and communication, but this also came at a cost: less protection for the crew. Still, its purpose was clear: strike first, strike fast, and don't give the enemy a chance to respond. Let's talk numbers. The M10 was powered by a General Motors 6046 diesel engine, pumping out about 375 horsepower. That gave it a top speed of around 30 miles per hour, not lightning fast, but quick enough to reposition and hunt enemy armor. Its range sat around 200 miles, giving it solid operational flexibility. It weighed in at around 29 tons, making it lighter than most German tanks it faced, which gave it mobility advantage in many combat situations. One of the key design features of the M10 was its sloped armor, something borrowed from German engineering. This wasn't just for looks. Sloped armor increases the chance of deflecting incoming rounds, effectively making the armor thicker than it appears. However, the armor itself was relatively thin, about 1.5 inches on the hull front and less on the sides and rear. That meant the M10 couldn't go toe-to-toe in a slugfest. It had to rely on ambush tactics, surprise, and positioning, and that's exactly how it was used. The M10 wasn't a frontline brawler, it was a hunter. Crews would set up in concealed positions, waiting for enemy tanks to roll into view. Once they had a target, they'd strike with precision, then quickly relocate to avoid counterattack. This style of warfare made M10 crews some of the most agile and adaptable forces in the Allied arsenal. The M10 Wolverine saw extensive service during the war. It was deployed in North Africa, where it earned its stripes against German armor under desert conditions. It played a vital role in the Italian campaign, the Normandy invasion, and the push through France and into Germany. Wherever there were enemy tanks, chances are the M10 wasn't far behind. One of the standout features of the M10 was its turret. It wasn't power-driven like those of many other tanks, instead, it was hand-cranked. That might sound like a step backward, but it was a decision made to keep the design light and reliable. In practice, this meant the turret turned slower, which could be a disadvantage in close quarters, but in long-range engagements, where speed was less critical, it worked just fine. As the war progressed, the M10 began to face tougher and more heavily armored German tanks, like the Panther and Tiger. Against these behemoths, the M10's 3-inch gun sometimes struggled. That led to field upgrades, like the British conversion known as the Achilles, which replaced the gun with a more powerful 17-pounder. This variant significantly boosted firepower and made the M10 a threat even to the heaviest German armor. By the end of the war, over 6,700 M10s had been produced, though eventually replaced by more advanced tank destroyers like the M36 Jackson. The Wolverine left a lasting legacy. It represented a key moment in military design, the shift from heavily armored beasts to fast, mobile, and tactically versatile vehicles. But beyond the specs and stats, what really made the M10 Wolverine special was its crews. These were ordinary soldiers thrust into extraordinary situations. They had to think fast, act faster, and trust their instincts. The open-top turret left them vulnerable to artillery, snipers, and even grenades. But it also gave them an unmatched awareness of the battlefield. Their courage and skill turned the M10 from a machine into a weapon of war that helped change the course of history. Today, surviving M10s can still be seen in museums and military collections around the world. They stand as silent witnesses to a time when armor and strategy clashed on a massive scale. They remind us of the bravery, sacrifice, and innovation that defined the Second World War. So, whether you're a military buff, a tank enthusiast, or just someone who appreciates powerful machines with a purpose, the M10 Wolverine is a name worth remembering. It may not have had the thickest armor or the biggest gun, but it had the heart of a Predator, and that made all the difference. Thanks for watching this deep dive into the M10 Wolverine. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Auto Plus for more awesome military vehicle breakdowns. Drop a comment below if there's a tank you want us to cover next. Until then, stay sharp, stay curious, and we'll catch you in the next one.